Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. We got a special update video for you guys. Patch notes 31 are out, and usually when we talk about patch notes, we don't have music in the background, no intro, no nothing. We get it done because man, oh man, there is a lot to talk about in this update. A huge change of AOE, how the area of effect skills work. We'll talk about that as well as explain to you exactly how the new method works. Let's go through the patch notes first, and we'll get there in the video. Before we start though, we are a sponsored content creator by Rise of Kingdoms, and of course, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for more notifications. So, update 31, Spring has sprung. Okay, comes out on the 9th at 6 a.m. UTC, a 3-hour update, yada yada yada, the usual. New event, Spring has sprung, will go live 2 weeks after the update. We bid farewell to the winter, embrace the spring with a series of extravagant spring-relevant related events. Some of the events are as followed. Farewell Winter. We celebrate the end of winter with a 7-day event. Complete the quests to get spring rewards. We know the drill by now. If you're new to Rise of Kingdoms, usually seasonal or holiday events are something like this. You have a 7-day event in which every day you get a new missions to complete. These go from defeating barbarians and guardians to gaining troop power to I don't know, using speed ups and so forth and so on, gathering the usual stuff, just some extra for you to have something to do. The more of these you get done, the higher the multiplier of the big chest is going to be. And at the end of the day, the reward is pretty much, I believe, 1 hour of speed up, 1 epic commander sculpture, and 1,000 XP Tome of Knowledge book thingy per multiplier. So you can get 100 epic commander sculptures, which is great if you haven't maxed out your epic commanders yet. Willows and flowers. Get branches by collecting resources in your city, gathering resources on the map, and defeating barbarians. You can use them in branching out event. Branching out event is, again, one of these cookie cutter kind of events for seasonal events. This time it's individual, it's not alliance based. The way it works is you have these branches, you donate them to raise the level of your rewards. The higher your level, the better the rewards. You get to spend 7,000 gems for the good stuff, for the extra rewards. You don't have to though. If you haven't done any of these events before, there are 2 recommendations we usually give. The first one is the easiest way to get to level 25 guaranteed is, instead of sending marches to gather on tiles to gather the full tile, you send marches with troop load between 175,000 and 150. Some people say 80,000 is enough, 100,000 is enough. I tend to send between 175 and 150 because 125 and 150 because, well, 127. That is the size of a level 1 node of food and wood. And so that's the minimum I tend to send. If you're gathering bigger nodes, level 6, 5, 4, whatever it is, just make sure you come and go again and again to the same node to clear it so your alliance mates don't get screwed with half-eaten tiles. When you send these marches out, it should take you about between 20 minutes to maybe 40, depending on the research level you have. When those marches come in, they'll most likely, more often than not, give you at least 1 branch per march. You do that for the first 4 or 5 days of the event, and you'll easily get to level 25. The second recommendation is, if you are pressed on gems or you're a free-to-play player or a low spender, you don't have to spend the 7,000 gems off the bat. You can wait until the final days to see at which level you end up and see whether or not it's worth it for you to spend the gems. When you hit level 25, you essentially get all the gems back out of the event. So it would be fairly recommended, really, to spend the 7,000 gems if you get to level 25, because you'll get them back in forms of tiles throughout the levels, like you can see right here. With that being said, another one of these cookie cutter events is always good. Nice rewards, something to do for the week, and of course, a lot of legendary commander sculptures if you get to level 25. We will also have a special theme, a nice little castle theme thingy, which we haven't seen yet. That comes out as well. I believe level 17 is what you need to hit to get that permanent skin. But again, it'll cost you 7,000 gems. Once you've hit levels 22 and above, it is definitely worth it to get those 7,000 gems. I usually wait till I hit level 17 and then buy it, or if I'm, on stream doing it, then I just buy it, and that's that. Reach for the top. Become a powerhouse in your kingdom. and earn brand new city theme, Amber Fortress. That's what we talked about. Arms training. You are ready for Arms Master Lohar Spring training season. Lohar gets stronger as your training goes on. I don't really remember these events. If I'm not mistaken, this is, I don't remember this event in the past. It's starting the season. Governors must dispatch an army to fight Lohar repeatedly without going back to the city. So maybe this is not a Lohar. Maybe this is going after barbarians, or maybe not. Usually the way this event worked is that you have to chain as many barbarians as possible with the same one march without going back home. I believe that's what this is. And in that case, the recommendation back in the day was Lohar Richard as the pairing, as they do crazy amounts of healing, especially when they finish a fight. So if you need to chain around, what you do is you just go hitting barbarians with that pair, and every time you kill one, you get a bunch of healing in return. If you end up at a point where fighting level 25s is more expensive than your healing, what you can always do is go hit a lower level barbarian and the healing will still be the same. And therefore, sometimes hitting a levels 1, 2, 3 barbarians just to get that extra healing to keep yourself out is a great way to go. So sending a Lohar Richard out for this event to travel around is recommended. Another recommendation for you guys is before you start this event, send your march out to a holy site, either a sanctum, a sanctuary, whatever they're called, all the altars and whatever not on the map, and then from there start hunting. The reason for that is because if by any chance your march decides to go home, if you come out from a holy site, the march will go back to the holy site it came from rather than from your city, which means that you'll stay on the field and this will not get reset. Arc of Osiris event optimizations. Based on the governor's feedback on their gameplay experience during Arc of Osiris, and based on the preference to have more opportunities to practice the Cyrus League, we have implemented a boatload of updates. Boatload indeed. Added practice matches to Arc of Osiris. From Monday to Friday, Alliance leaders or titled officers can spend gems to unlock sessions of practice matches for Alliance members to participate in. The way this works is within your Alliance, you can create 2 teams and they can practice. This practice happens within an alliance, not within a kingdom or not cross kingdom yet. This is not the worst thing on earth, especially because majority of kingdoms have 2 teams that are playing Arc of Osiris. So all you gotta do is get everybody into the same alliance, someone spend the gems and get the practice session going. Of course, you're gonna have one team that is much stronger than the other one in some cases. In others, there's gonna be 2 even teams that are gonna be able to duke it out and help each other out grow along the way. If I were to guess how many gems this would cost, Summer from JWM threw a great number that I feel like that's what we will see. Between 1,500 and 2,000 gems a session seems reasonable to me. I wouldn't be too surprised if it's more than that. Optimize the battle result mail for Arc of Osiris. Now statistics such as individual healing and more are shown in the mail. Okay, cool. Alliance skills and commander equipment will take effect as normal during Arc of Osiris. For the record, during Cyrus League, equipment already works. Alliance skills have worked in the past. I mean, Alliance skills were used in strategies in last season as well. And so the only thing that I guess they're doing is they are actually going to change the rules which say these things don't work, and now it'll say they do. In Osiris League, these things have been working for a while now, but it's good that they're at least straightening up the line, let's put it this way. Support your favorite alliance in an all-new bets event during Cyrus League. We've been expecting this. This usually happens during the playoffs period. We saw that last time around. I believe that since this update comes out in the break week, we will see those bets happening. And of course, you guys and I will be betting every Saturday on stream before the matches begin. And I'll talk you guys through my betting strategies and all that. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the bell so you get a notification when I go live on Saturdays, which is usually at 5 p.m. UTC. And while we're at it, don't forget to drop a like on the video. It helps out the channel. YouTube loves it. It's one click. The skill system will be added to Cyrus League enters the playoffs after the Cyrus League enters playoffs. Pretty much skill system is now on for Cyrus League. Oh boy, not a lot of time to practice it, especially those who went into a Cyrus League instead of doing regular arcs. Not that much time with the system. I can tell you that I played on an alt with that system on regular arcs just to get a little bit more knowledge. But this is going to be really interesting. It's going to change up the dynamics and how Arc of Cyrus League will end up working, or Cyrus League will end up working. Very interesting stuff. Locked commanders can now be dispatched as normal during Arc of Osiris. This one is an interesting one. My question to Lilith is whether or not locked commanders means if you're a younger kingdom, which has some people who migrated and have locked commanders, if they play against a younger kingdom in Arc of Osiris, do they get to use those commanders? Or is it, if you are fighting as a younger kingdom, a kingdom that is older, will you then be able to use the same commanders if you have them available? That's an interesting thing. I would have preferred them to, we'll call it dumb it down, which is not dumb, just lower it down. So whichever kingdom has whichever kingdom is the youngest one, you play based off of those commanders rather than the older kingdoms, which might have a big advantage. Attila Takeda, Guan Yu, so forth and so on. Finally, to prevent governors from using teleport chances by accident, a short cooldown has been added to teleport. This one I am not a fan of because I understand you're trying to stop accidents, but what you're actually causing is a situation where teams are going to have to start taking into account that cooldown for their strategy, as the teleports are used primarily to allow rally leaders to get to the front, as well as those who are going to be filling those rallies quicker. And now you're going to have to really think not only about the order in which you use those teleports, but also to ensure essentially the rally leader porting first has to wait until the rest of the folks get close to start the rally. I'm not a big fan of this last point, but we'll see how it ends up playing out. Other changes. A ton of personal achievements were added. Wow, boatload, a ton. These guys are going at it on this patch notes. Also added a new category of achievements. Governors now choose to display the certain achievements in their personal information. Child of Fate has been added. I'm curious what this is. It's kind of cool with a golden thing in here. Only 9 though. The world is at your feet. Of course, this is not, I'm assuming this is just a screenshot, an image just to make an illustration. I think there's going to be more than 9, but maybe not. But they added more achievements. Cool. And this is the achievements wall where you can show and showcase your achievements. This is why we wait for the Facebook post so you guys can see the images. Although this time around the images are a bit small. Usually they're a little bigger, but it's okay. Defeating chieftains and barbarian camps, chieftain, barbarian camps, and barbarian keeps will grant an even higher chance of dropping equipment blueprints. I noticed that rates went down. Lilith keeps saying they did not touch the rates, that either I was insanely lucky earlier and then insanely unlucky now. I kind of don't buy it, but I'll take their word for it. I am happy that they're increasing the drop rate. I am 7 blueprints away from my Dark Blessing chest piece and been grinding my butt off to get it done for that Osiris League, which will now be part of it. For kills that happen during rally battles, the damage will now be more accurately credited to governors that participate in these rallies. I'm curious to see how this one works out because I always had that impression that the rally damage as well as the losses for the rally are fairly even split. But this is an interesting situation to think about because when you send a full infantry, cavalry, or range rally, it divides itself out equally kind of among everybody. But what happens when there are tier 4s and tier 5s, as well as what happens when a mixed troop rally? So this would be cool to see what kind of troops do a little bit more damage and how the difference between having more or less tier 5s affects the total damage a rally makes. This is actually fairly good for us as an analytical skill thing to know how rallies work better. Optimized albums display, you can show uploaded pictures, blah, 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 blah. This is not that important. Governors uploaded their pictures in the album. I don't really know what this is good for, but okay. Special immigration chances of Imperium kingdoms will now accumulate accumulate, sorry about that, at the beginning of each month, if not used, maximum of 3 chances. This was the thing a lot of us raised to Lilith, which was when we have KVK or Lost Kingdom happening, migration is locked, but that event is 1 to 2 months long, so essentially you miss one of your or 2 of your chances to allow someone into the Imperium Kingdoms. Remind you, Imperium Kingdoms can get 1 member per month above that 25 million block. And so now, if you're in Lost Kingdom for 2 months, those 2 special immigration chance, as they call them, will accumulate. And then when you get out of Lost Kingdom, you'll be able to get those 2 people in. This is a great change, very welcome. I love it. During the Past Glory event, governors can now donate elite commander sculptures and epic commander sculptures. Is this generic ones? If so, hallelujah, because I got thousands of them. So if we can get even more of these generic sculptures in, cheers, fellas. Of course, I don't recommend putting all your epic commander sculptures in that event, because remind you, we'll most likely get more epic commanders as time goes by. At least that's what Lilith said. And so it's good to have a chunk of them so you can max out the next few commanders, but you don't need, like I have 4,000 or 5,000 of those. You can donate a few of them, probably a good couple thousand. All individual ranks will now display the top 100 governors. A new personal achievement ranking has been added. This is also a very important change, as they've changed the formula of what an Imperium Kingdom is to the top 300 members. Up to now, we could only see the top 200, and so the other 100 were what? We had to have faith that the math works. Nope, now we can go calculate, look exactly what the lowest player in the top 300 is, so forth and so on. Great change, I like it. Double tap the avatar of your army on the right to quick select all troops within that army. That one, I didn't understand. We'll get back to you on that one. If you guys have a clue what that means, leave me a comment down below. I don't understand what is the significance of all troop within that army. I didn't know you can select troops within the army to go different places. And so this one's a confusing one. When attacking troops during a rally, we can now use multi-selection as normal. Governors can do this by double tapping their own troops on the map or double tapping their army's avatar on the right. This one's also one that I'm kind of confused about. If you guys know what this is, again, leave me a comment down below and let me know. But any change is a good change, I hope, for the way you utilize better troops. Based on Governor's feedback, we've modified the reward rule for the Cyrus League Crisis for players and added 2 new generals for governors to challenge. Now governors can earn exclusive currency used to exchange for special rewards by playing Cyrus League Crisis for players event, which opens every 2 weeks. I like it, but again, this is the 4 players event, not the 12 player event. We'll have to take a look at it, and of course, we'll have a video about that whenever that is out on the channel. Made a minor adjustment to area attack skills. These skills will now choose targets from all enemy governors, troops that are currently attacking you and are within the skills area effect. This is the biggest point that caused the most crazy outrage on Facebook and everywhere, like always. It was very unclear, and there was a few questions raised to Lilith, and so we got an answer from Lilith, and I will read the exact answer, and then we'll talk about that a little bit and explain to you the changes and differences. This is why you guys are still in this video. So the reply was, if player A with an AOE damage attacking player B, then player B and his alliance members within the AOE range could take damage by the AOE, even if some of those members do not attack. So far, so good. Meanwhile, if a player C from another alliance in the range, he will not get hit unless that player C hits you. If the player C attacks player A, C will also be attacked by AoE, but C's alliance members will not. Essentially what this is if one alliance is hitting you, one member from an alliance is hitting you, and he has alliance mates within the AoE zone, and someone from another alliance is nearby and not hitting you, that other someone will not get hit. However, if that other someone from another alliance does hit you, he will also get hit by AOE, but his alliance mates will not, while the first person who hit you, his alliance mates will get hit. Essentially, AOE changed so that once one target hits you, that alliance is the alliance that will get hit even if they don't hit you. If a second alliance comes into the play later on, that second alliance will not get hit by AOE, only the people that are hitting that specific march. I don't know why things are so complicated. In theory, if a march hits you, it automatically becomes red. Why? Because it becomes an enemy target rather than just someone. I don't understand why enemy targets as well as enemy alliances cannot get hit and that's it. I think that this made things super complicated to an extent, but at the same time, it fixed a potential bug when multiple alliances were hitting a rally simultaneously, something like that. There was a bug a long time ago when multiple alliances were hitting a rally, then those only one alliance was getting hit. Nowadays, it looks like it's the same. All that it is if multiple alliances hit the same rally, then those marches hitting the rally will now be affected by AOE, which in the past they weren't. Only the alliance of the first person who hit were. So it's a little confusing. They're trying to fix a bug. You guys went crazy without an explanation. I understand why you guys went crazy. You see something like this that could have huge impact and nothing else beyond 2 lines, a line and a half, 1 sentence worth of an explanation. I understand your frustration and I agree that a change that is as potentially significant has to come with a better explanation. And I believe and hope that Lilith will take this into account and send an extra mail to clarify this change. But yeah, now you guys know what they mean with this change, what's the change, how it works. And if you have more questions, leave me a comment down below and let me know. I'll send them out to Lilith and hopefully we'll get answers for you very soon. Anyway, I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you're still here, make sure you drop a like on the video before you leave. And of course, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Enjoy the rest of your week and take care. Don't forget Thursday, birthday stream. Be there. Peace.